In many ways, CS2 is a lot like chess. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite similarities between the two games, and that's openings. It's definitely a good idea to have a few of these in your back pocket, or at the very least, some semblance of a plan when starting each round. We're going to focus on T side today because it's generally going to require you to be a little bit more active around the map. But before we jump into all of the specifics, I want to thank today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. But what's SkinsMonkey, you might ask? Well, it's an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins, and all you have to do is select the old skins that you don't want anymore and grab some new ones from the monkey. They also have a 24/7 live support system and some amazing filter and selection features. But that's not all. You could get up to a free $5 when using code CSTactics on the site. And you could also get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using that same code. So don't miss out on this offer. Go ahead and click that link down in the description and check out SkinsMonkey today. Let's get back into the video. Starting out with Ancient, mid is an extremely CT-sided area of the map in the early round due to the insane amount of utility that's thrown at elbow. That's why I like to wait that early barrage out and then do a surprising flash opening through the leftover smoke. My team usually calls this a mid pop, and we have a few different ways that we like to go about doing it that I'm going to go ahead and show you. Now at the most basic level, you can have a teammate do a run throw right here at this nice little ledge while they're on lane. That's going to end up landing behind this wall so that anyone that's coming out of elbow, well, they're not going to get blinded by this thing at all. And as you can see, all of the CTs that are set up here are getting roasted by this thing, and you can just bring them down as they're blind. And believe it or not, there's not too much time to react from this flash coming in. Now sometimes we like to add a little bit more into that, such as an HE to break the smoke at the same time the flash comes in. That makes it even more surprising, a little bit more explosive if they're getting good at countering those flashes. Now a lot of times before I throw that HE, I'll go right here along this corner and do a crouching jump throw at the top of this leaf. That's going to end up re-smoking red, allowing for a little bit of an easier push out mid since you won't have to worry about that angle. Now to throw this HE, it's actually pretty easy. You're just going to wait for that smoke to land, and once it does, you're going to find this nice crack alongside the wall, and then you're just going to move all the way up to where you're looking towards the top of this plank, and you're going to do a nice little left and right click release. That way it goes on the other side of that far wall so that any of your teammates standing in this corner, when that HE goes off, it doesn't damage them at all, but they have full visibility to take a nice quick little shot on anyone jumping up snake, and hey, guess what? You're going to have enough time to get on out of that smoke since it fades back in pretty quickly. And hey, instead of looking like this, if you time that flash with the HE grenade, you may end up dominating mid just like you can see right here. Now when it comes to Anubis, one of my favorite openings is trying to trap a CT inside of E-Box and burning them out of cover. Once that early round E-Box utility is done for, I like to get my B-side lurker into this corner to do a simple jump throw up from this guy's praying hand at the bottom of this shield. That's going to pop straight down and molly the backside of pillar, hopefully trapping anyone inside of E-Box or forcing them into it. Now at the same time, your E-Box player is going to be set up right outside, and once he hears that first molly, he's going to wait a second or two, molly it out, and hopefully it's going to force them either out into the open or back through that Molotov, completely seeding E-Box for you so you take that map control and hopefully end up getting an opening pick. For Dust 2, I really like taking control of lower tunnels, and once I've established control, I'll generally do a left and right click throw towards the top right of this little window here to smoke off mid doors. That's going to spill right down, then I can jump up on top of Xbox, and guess what? I can move up to Cat. However, sometimes I get buried from someone holding me. Now the best way to deal with that is to have a teammate flash them into next week and allow you to take an easy fight. Now the flash we just showed off, thanks to this giant smoke, is safe to throw. You're going to go right here behind these barrels and do a simple jump throw at the bottom center of them. That's going to end up landing on the other side of this ledge, and it's a nice one-way flash that does not blind the T player on Xbox, but it's going to destroy anyone here on Cat. This is of course an exaggerated example, but it allows you to jump up extra early, making it extremely potent against anti-flash setups. Now moving on to Inferno, my favorite opening is going alongside this wall and doing a W jump throw at the bottom right of the stress. If you're a fan of the channel, you've seen me show this off a bunch of times. This smoke's going to bank off this side wall and land right here. That's going to end up extinguishing the CT's molly, and it's going to allow the T's to move up into the gap on this smoke and take an angle on car through it. Now to take this angle safely, I recommend banking a molly off the right of this window here so that you can molly car and safely take the angle without them already being there holding for you. Now of course, they're probably not going to let you get a pick like this every single round, so sometimes you're going to have to get a little bit creative. So what I recommend is, after your teammates have thrown all the utility they want to up here at top car, you're going to go right alongside this crack and do a simple left click throw at this nice little support ledge here under the balcony. That's going to end up popping right up here. It's going to full blind anyone on top banana, and hey, it's going to allow your teammates to pop up here and destroy anyone caught by it. Now for Mirage, I learned a pretty cool play from Holmes, who actually credited Sashi for coming up with this, where you end up mollying out all of ladder. And this is super easy to implement into a default. If mid-window smoked off, you get stuck into this corner, aim above this dark mark right here. You can then back up until you're stuck against this bench. You can shoot the vent out and then do a simple left click throw, and voila, you've thrown a perfect molly that's gonna completely molly out both the top and bottom of ladder. If you end up throwing that just from out in mid and it lands on the bottom, it's not gonna get the top. So you definitely wanna make sure you're getting all of these positions to where now, if they burn out, they're gonna have to move into a clear spot that's completely exposed to anyone out here towards mid. Now hey, there's not always going to be someone in ladder, but that is a good way to make sure that there's definitely no one there. Now, whenever I'm feeling like a complete menace on Mirage, I'll get stuck along the bench and do a right-click jump throw with a flash at this red dot. That's going to land on the other side of this wall, not blinding you, but blinding any of the CTs. So if you combine that with a little bit of fancy movement, you can do this nice right-click jump throw, make the jump up, and voila, you're not blind and the enemy definitely is. Now, speaking of smooth movement, one of my favorite plays on Nuke to go for is a nice little silent vent drop. So essentially, I'm gonna blow out Squeaky and the vent, throw a little smoke to put out the molly, and I'm gonna try to drop all the way down without making any noise on the ladder or by falling. Now, of course, they're probably gonna hear you running, but throughout all of the chaos of the grenades, smokes, and mollies going off at the beginning of the round on Nuke, it's super easy to slip down here without anyone realizing you're there. And hey, guess what? If someone ends up playing in secret early on, you can get a very easy pick by reverse clearing it. Now, believe it or not, with one single HE, you can break both Squeaky and the vents, and it's actually pretty easy to throw. Right off the spawn, when you're rounding this corner right here, you're gonna aim down from the bottom left of this sign to where it intersects with the trim along the floor and do a run, throw, and release. As long as it lands on this corner, it's gonna break both the vents and Squeaky. Now for the smoke, it's even easier. Of course, after you throw the HE, in one motion, you're gonna do a simple run throw with a smoke right here, and you're then gonna drop down the vent, trying to catch yourself on the ladder with a shift walk to where you never make any noise at all. Now I'll show it off all in one motion one more time. Again, the HE, then the smoke, and we're just gonna try to make our way down this vent as quickly as we possibly can without making any noise. Now, I'm not the best movement player. This is about as good as I can do and as quickly as I can do it. You're gonna see pros doing it much faster and much more effectively, but either way, as long as the CTs aren't catching you going down there, you can get a free kill, no problem. Alright, so now let's talk a little bit about Train. One of my personal favorite smokes is going right here along the side of this wall, aiming between this wire and the crane, and just doing a left-click throw right here out into the sky. It's going to bank off the roof here, and it's going to be a nice sandwich smoke that's going to smoke off both the left and right side to allow you to get on out towards this red train area. Now, after one teammate throws this sandwich smoke, having another teammate already set up on top of this dumpster to just aim at the very top of this white mark, stand up, and do a simple left-click throw is going to be a nice pop dog smoke, or what it seems like the devs are now calling long dog. Now, from that exact same position, you can find these two darker lines right here along the wall. Find the lighter one just to the left of those. It's kind of a little circle. On the left-hand side, do a simple jump throw right into the middle, and that's going to end up being a perfect god flash to blind all of the enemies on site, but none of your teammates. Now, an easier version is alongside this green sign. Although it is a little bit more exposed to Ivy, it's just a simple jump throw in the middle of this little electrical box here, and guess what? That's going to be an even better flash that's also completely team safe. It's going to blind almost every position on site. Alright guys, so that pretty much completes all of my favorite opening plays to go for on T-side in 2025 Counter-Strike 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, let me know down in the comments below and let me know what you'd like to see next. Before I go, I do want to thank all of my awesome channel members on screen right now. Thank you guys so much for letting me do everything that I want to do, and I'll see you guys in the next one.